Alright, so welcome to my Calamity mod guide. I'm going to be going into depth about kind of progression and stuff like that, so if you're looking for something that's like spoiler free, I will link one that I did a while ago, which is spoiler free, but this one's going to go deeper into progression to give you guys a better idea, okay? So, first thing to start out with, you're going to start out with all these items right here, and then you have the starter bag. I would recommend using this as it gives you a ton of items, both that are difficulty items and ones that are like potions and good stuff like that. Like you get a mana crystal. Now, what you want to do, what I recommend is make sure you're making an expert mode world and character basically, because this mod is really dependent on this right here, which you can only enable if you're in expert mode. So I do recommend doing this. It's going to make the game harder. It's going to give you some new mechanics, new drops, and just a bunch of good stuff. But this is like the intended way to play the mod. I really recommend it, okay? So we're going to go ahead and enable that. You're going to notice that we have two new bars, right? So there's the adrenaline bar and the rage bar. So first things first is the adrenaline bar right here. This is filled by being in a boss fight and not getting hit for, I think, roughly 45 seconds. The rage one, on the other hand, you fill that by I believe it's taking damage and also being close to bosses or enemies. You'll end up gaining rage, and then you can use both of them, either one. But adrenaline does more. I think this one gives you a 50% damage boost for 5 seconds, and I think this one gives a 150% damage boost. They're really powerful, and it rewards like skilled play. Okay. So as far as the early game, really all you gotta do is you do your typical mining, mining, making some housing, or you could use a mod like I do for housing, and you basically just want to look for, maybe like try to get like a hook if possible, or like Hermes boots. I'd say Hermes boots is a big one, or a blizzard in a bottle, or anything similar like that is what I really recommend. There's also this Wolfram Armor that I'm wearing here. You'll find enemies that drop these ones. All these enemies right here, they drop these Wolfram scraps and these cores. The cores only drop from these ones. It's kind of hard to get this set, if I'm being honest, just because these things are kind of rare. But you can either go with or without it. It gives you a little bit of movement speed, and you get 8 defense. It's not great, but it helps a little bit. Or you could do like platinum or other types of armor for, for starting out. So basically what you're looking for is just maybe like swiftness potions, stuff like that. There is some things, if I go ahead and reveal the map here. So there is things like right here. This is a good spot to get potions. If we check here, this gives you a bunch of potion ingredients as well as some other stuff. So I really do recommend maybe checking this out. As this is an easy way to get a lot of potions. Also, there's a lot of life crystals, gems, and stuff like that in the sky. So I do recommend, if you get a chance to get like a gravity potion, definitely go to the sky. Now, the first place you're probably gonna go is, or what I recommend doing is going to the desert. And the reason for that is because that's where you're probably gonna find that's where you're gonna find some good gear, and also probably your first boss. This here, so this is how you make the first boss summon that I recommend. This drops from the storm lions. This drops from the enemy that we just killed, and these ones are here. So this is what you need. You craft at a demon altar, and that'll summon the first boss. While we're here, this chest right here, you'll notice that it has like a little weird kind of encasing. This is a shrine. This one in particular, the one that's in the desert biome, this is extremely powerful. So I do recommend possibly looking around for this if you can. You can't mine through this, but what you can do is you can just get close to it and you could get it. It's called Luxor's Gift. This thing is beautiful. We'll go into that a little bit more later. So basically, you do your earlier game exploring, you get some life crystals maybe, and then once you do that, you want to craft the desert medallion, and then you'll get into your first boss fight. Okay, now as far as the first boss fight goes, really what you want is you just want to make some platforms above the desert biome, and you just want, like, this is my gear. You don't have to have all this. This is kind of excessive. Like, you could probably get away with just having like Blizzard in a bottle, And then the weapon that I'm using, for example, is the Firestorm Cannon. This is one of those Wolfram enemies I mentioned earlier. We're gonna go ahead and summon this. I am in God mode just to make things a little bit smoother, just so I can like talk while doing this and make it a little smoother. So there's gonna be 3 worms you're gonna see during this fight. Honestly, biggest thing is just don't get hit by the big worm by its head. So we just actually filled up our rage, so I can show you this. We have a little hotkey set up. And let me see if I could get a good portion to show. Where is he? There it is. We go ahead and use it, and we are doing a ton more damage for a little while. And so we just did like 20% or like something pretty insane. Like it's still ticking really, really well. Now I'm going to go ahead and show off Adrenaline. And there it is. So like that, obviously I'm in God mode, so I'm going to get that easier without being hit and stuff like that. So anyways, basically you just want to run kind of back and forth on the platforms, try to dodge the head, and he does shoot some projectiles, but it's not too bad of a fight, okay? Next thing you want to do, you're going to have a new treasure bag. You want to open that. Now what you want to do is you're going to have these items here, and if we search in our recipe browser here, you have these bars. These bars are really, really good because you can make both weapons, and you can also make, what's it called? Armor. And then also, one thing that's really good about Calamity is the summons will not disappear. So even if you like die during the fight, you don't have to go down and find a bunch of new stuff or like a bunch of materials again. It will stay. So if you really want to, you could even refight him to get even more stuff. So you could, you know, maybe if you don't have enough for the full armor set, or you don't have enough for the weapon or that you want or whatever, you can feel free to do that. Upon defeating the that first boss there, what you're going to want to do is you want to go all the way down to the bottom of here. This is the Sunken Sea. This is going to be basically your next bet on where to go. What we're looking for, you can mine like this stuff here. This can give you some like weapons and stuff. There's a little bit of stuff around here, these crystals, and there's some stuff you can actually make out of this. But the main thing we're looking for, so what it is it's called, oh, there it is. Yeah, so you just wait a little bit, and then if we look at the map here, oh, it's right here. So this little thing, you want to kill this. It's a mini boss. It has 2,500 health. It's not that bad. It has some, you know, some attacks, but it's not terrible. You want to kill this. It drops a, there's an NPC hiding in it, and he sells a bunch of really, really good stuff. So kill this, and then after that, you're basically set to move on to the next stage of progression. Okay, so after doing that, you're going to have this new NPC, and his name's the Sea King. It's this guy right here. And he sells some really good stuff, actually. Like, he sells some of my favorite weapons. So, you go here, you can say help, and he'll give you this little buff that lets you breathe underwater. But you want to go to this shop. He sells some potions, he sells some pretty good summon weapons, and just everything. So just, I really recommend using some of these because regardless of your class, these are usually really, really good. Now, you want to next, you're probably going to want to defeat the Eye of Cthulhu. It does have some changes about it, but it's not the most difficult thing in the world. After that, it would be time to go ahead and you have an option to defeat Crabulon, which is this guy here. It's this little mushroom dude. To spawn him, you need 50 glowing mushrooms. So I personally, I skip this boss. I don't find the rewards to be the best, but like here, if you look at it, this is actually pretty good. But in general, I don't feel like these weapons are just not my thing typically. I think that some people really like them, but I personally don't. So I usually just skip this and go straight for Brain of Cthulhu or Eater of Worlds. So we're going to go ahead and show Brain. And basically, it's pretty simple. You just kind of, like, very simple first phase. You just want to use something that has area of effect. And you'll basically just completely shred through him. And then, once you get into the next phase, he's going to try to stick to you. And he has this new attack right here where all you need to do is just pay attention to which one's real. And then he's going to dash. So like, for example, that one's real over there. You just dash over it. And that's basically the entire fight. So if we just go ahead and finish this off. I actually don't know which one's real right now. There we go. And that's that. Now, the next thing you want to do is there's going to be a little cyst that you're going to find in either the Crimson or the Corruption here. This boss fight is actually pretty hard, if I'm being honest. This one gave me quite a bit of trouble, so this could be a bit of a progression block for some of you guys. But what you want to do, these spawn randomly just like the giant clam. There's the hive cyst and this one. This one is the Crimson one, so we're going to go ahead and spawn it. Basically, it spawns and it just looks like a little like normal enemy. It doesn't attack you at all. You can like walk over it. But if you destroy it, like we're about to do here, go ahead and hit it. It's going to spawn a new boss. And this boss is actually quite difficult, if I'm being honest. So, it's called the Little Hive. And basically, the number one thing in this boss is you kind of just need to bait it to go downwards. And then you just jump right over it. But there's also projectiles that it's firing. So you have to be really, like, careful about when you're jumping and where you're jumping to. This fight will take some time to get used to. I recommend staying close to the boss rather than running away, because I think running away is what most people want to do. But that's actually a better way to get killed, okay? So after you get it to a lower amount of health, we're going to go ahead and speed this up. It's going to spawn a worm. And now you have to worry about these projectiles. It won't dash to you, but you have to worry about the worm now. The worms are pretty fast. I also recommend fighting this boss underground because it does enrage when you are above ground. And after you kill the worm, it goes right back into its normal phase. And it's going to repeat 2 times. There's going to be 2 more worms that'll spawn at different percentages. And then you just kill those. And then that's basically the fight, pretty much. Once you get past that, let me see. I think another one's going to spawn. Oh, it also has this Ichor blob attack. But there's another worm. I'm using Adrenaline right now, so I'm shredding it. Or my weapon's just shredding it. But basically, that's the entire fight. And so after you kill it... Let me see if I can go ahead and do this real fast. There we go. So we kill it. It says the ground is glittering with cyan light. Okay, so we need to go to the Cavern Layer. This only spawns in the Cavern Layer. It doesn't matter what biome you're in. So let's go like maybe pretty deep down. And then we want to go ahead and pop a Splunker. I want to go ahead and just show you guys what this looks like because it is a very useful thing. Okay, so it took forever for me to find. So basically, this is what you're looking for. It spawns in the Cavern Layer, like I said. And if you just go ahead and mine it, you're going to get Aerolite ore. This can go ahead and be crafted into Aerolite bars, which then can be made into a ton of different stuff. The big thing is the Aerospec Armor. Now, one thing to note, you do need a sky mill in order to craft these items. You need some stuff from the from Sky Islands as well. You need like harpy feathers, rain clouds, and clouds. So make sure to visit that. There's also the first set of wings you can use here once you get some bones. And there's some really good weapons. So make sure to go ahead and craft that good stuff. And you'll be ready for Skeletron. You can actually... Wait, what is he doing? Wow, he's dodging like crazy. So once you kill the Eye of Cthulhu, there's going to be an event that you can go to. It's called the Acid Rain, and it's tier 1 of it. If you go to this right here, which is past the dungeon, is the ocean past the dungeon, you'll see this biome here. It'll start raining here, and some new enemies will spawn. You can do that event, and it will give you some decent stuff. So maybe check that out. Moving on to the Skeletron thing. This boss can be a bit hard, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Pretty simple in terms of like, it's just a little bit more aggressive, and it has, I'd just say like, just better overall, so it's going to cause you a bit more trouble. Faster, better, and nothing really too crazy beyond that. And your new armor and accessories at this point should have enough mobility in order to basically continue to dodge him. It will take some time to get used to the timings and kind of stuff like that. At least it did for me. So after you defeat him, NPCs and stuff are acting strange. The biggest thing you want to look for is a shadow key. That is the #1 thing you're looking for down here. So basically go in here, look for a shadow key. You can also loot the other stuff. The other stuff is going to be useful and stuff, but the shadow key, which you'll find in one of these golden chests here, is what you want. Once you get a shadow key, you want to head down into this biome here, which is this is underground. You will take damage when going in here, because it's like poisonous waters, but you should be able to survive. You might just need some potions. And you want to go ahead and check out these chests. these chests contain some of my favorite and best weapons for the pre-hard mode portion of the game. And there's quite a few of them. So the archer fish is really good. Let me see what else there is. One of them is called the lionfish. There's also some accessories, but basically, you just want to get a weapon upgrade here. There we go. This is a summon weapon. So basically, you want to get this. This is going to help you with the next fight, which I would say, at least for most people, is the hardest fight within pre-hard mode. And it's the slime god. So, in order to craft the summon, you need called overloaded sludge. That is what the summon is called. We go here. We need 40 blighted gel and 40 of any evil block. And if we go to the blighted gel, it drops from these two slimes right here. You shouldn't have trouble getting this. It's pretty easy to get or find these guys, and they drop pretty generous amounts. Okay, so we are basically ready to go. I do have bundle balloons because we kind of need better stuff, and I'm using the lionfish here. So, overloaded sludge. Go ahead and grab that. And here we go. So, this fight, there is 3 different bosses to keep track of. So this is kind of why it's a little bit harder. But it is still manageable. The slimes will just start to charge at you and stuff, which is somewhat avoidable. But the main thing you want to worry about is the core, and then just you want to try not to get hit by those slimes, because they do inflict debuffs on you that really, really mess you up. So I recommend not getting hit as much as possible. Your DPS, especially if you're using the lionfish, in my opinion, will be really, really good here. As the lionfish and those weapons that you find in that area are extremely powerful. So the boss fight shouldn't last for too long. Let me see. And you could always platform like cheese with this. So like you basically bait it into going onto the platform above you. And this is a pretty safe spot to be. So this is where you kind of want to be. And then you just have to kind of dodge the slimes, the mines, and everything else. So it's just a lot going on. I recommend having a big arena because the slimes, or the mines and both the slimes, will fill up your arena very, very quickly, okay? So after that, this fight will take you a while to probably beat, as it is quite hard. You'll go ahead and sometimes, let me see. So it didn't happen there, but if you defeat it legit, basically what will happen is the slimes will split into 2, each slime, and then the slime core will start to enrage once you get it on its own. But in general, does not change. With that being done, really the only thing to do is to defeat the wall of flesh. Now, what you want to do is, let me find that bag. There it is. Okay. This bag is really good because it allows us to make some new goodies. If we open this up, we get some really good stuff, but we also get this Purified Gel. So this right here is used to make your next pieces of weapon stuff and armor stuff. So what you need to do is you need a static refiner, which you need static refiner and hellstone bars. But for a static refiner, you just need a solidifier and purified gel. This drops from King Slime. So once you do that, you're basically good to go. You want to make the Statagel armor right here. And so this is the armor set I'd recommend. And then as far as weapons go, any of these weapons will do. I think my favorite is the Gubo, but all of these are pretty good choices. Or you could even get away with using some of these weapons that you found in the Abyss or the Shadow Chest over there. And honestly, that's really it. The Wall of Flesh, not much really changes. I do recommend having a pretty big arena for this, as you will need it. Nothing really changes here. It's going to be a little bit more aggressive, just like everything else in this mod. And the biggest thing is just remember that this mod changes a lot of stuff. So if things look kind of weird or like something's acting strange, it's probably because of Calamity. So don't don't think your game's glitched or anything like that. There's a lot of changes, and also experiment with a lot of different things, because sometimes things that are really, really good have like really low damage stats and stuff like that. So just be open-minded. But that's really it for pre-hard mode. I hope this helped a bit. I know this is kind of a quick tutorial, but I didn't want to go super in-depth, but I wanted to go in-depth enough so that you know at least a basic idea of what to do and where to go. So, biggest thing, boss checklist will definitely help you here, as it will give you, where you should go next. So, for example, I'm supposed to go to Wall of Flesh. You could also defeat Queen Bee if you want. And then the other thing is Recipe Browser, which is this mod here, is very important because you can just go ahead and put in anything you want and figure out what you can make with it. So that's about it. I will be making a hard mode guide soon, but I hope this was helpful. If it was, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.